All right, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. We're here for a board session at 9 a.m. in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And if you would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we do not have any public comment today. So let's move on into the consent calendar. Commissioner Canna, would you read that, please?
Madam Chair, I would be honored to do that for us this morning. Good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody's smiling faces. Brenda, I know there's a smile underneath there. It's great, and everybody out there. So, all right, I'll move the consent calendar, Madam Chair. First item under Board of Commissioners is a board committee appointments for the Public Safety Coordinating Council. Approve an order appointing Commissioner Colin Willis. Really? Okay. Congratulations. Tamara Gesh and Christina McCollum to the Marion County Public Safety Coordinating Council with terms beginning April 11th, 2022 and ending April 10th, 2025. Under Human Resources, approve a recommendation to adjust upward the pay grade for classification number 522, Chief Medical Legal Death Investigator, and uphold the pay grade for 523, Medical Legal Death Investigator. And last item under Tax Office, approve an order for a property tax refund in the amount of $17,630.44 for CoreLogic Tax Services.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. And now we'll move on to action items. Terry Morgan is going to join us under Board of Commissioners Board Committee appointments to the Local Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee. To consider approval of an order appointing Eric Brasser to the Marion County Local Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee, LADPC, with terms ending April 30th, 2026.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. For the record, please introduce yourself. And then I assume Eric's going to introduce himself, so you'll want to say your name and your address.
I'm Terry Morgan, Program Manager for Marion County Health and Human Services Addictions Treatment.
Eric Razor, President of Soaring Heights, and I live in Kaiser.
Well, good morning. We're here this morning with Eric. Eric has applied to be a member of our local alcohol and drug planning committee with Marion County. Eric has owned and operated Soaring Heights recovery homes in our community for over 3 years, has a men's house and a women's house. He has been involved in the recovery community and treatment world for many, many years. He's also been instrumental in helping to facilitate housing for clients involved in our law enforcement assisted diversion program. And I don't know if there's anything else we should add to that, Eric?
Yeah, you got a lot of it. Yeah, I've been in the recovery community here for about 20 years here in Salem. I guess my background started with, I'm actually a recovering addict. I've been clean and sober for about 14 years, about almost 15. We first started our transitional housing here in Salem and Kaiser because we recognized a need for it in the community. Throughout that time, we've developed a lot of good working relationships with Marion County. Excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous. Health and Human Services, Bridgeway, she mentioned LEAD program, Department of Human Services, all the specialty courts. We work really closely with that, and that's one of our main focuses, is to have good community relationships with all the partners to help serve the population that we're serving in our homes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
If I may, Madam Chair. Eric, it's great to see you. Thank you for what you're doing in our community. Yeah, take a deep breath. Yeah. Been there on that side many a times, and I know it can be, but I want to thank you for what you're doing in our community, and how you're using your personal situation to make a better life for others, and that's really important. So thanks for doing this and stepping up and volunteering to be on this advisory board as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's like being in the chamber office, it's okay.
Yeah, well, we go back many, many years, it was a different situation. We'd be on this side.
Maybe, although we're not that kind of authoritative here.
Welcome to the team.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Willis, would you make a motion?
All right, Madam Chair, I move that we approve an order appointing Eric Razor to the Marion County Local Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee with terms ending April 30th, 2026.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. Thanks for your
Thank
work.
All right, thank you.
Now we'll move on to the Assessor's Office to consider approval of the contract for services with Scan It, Inc. in the amount of $425,000 to provide image scanning services to convert deed books and account jackets to digital form through December 31, 2025. And we're joined by Assessor Tom Rolfing, and not your entourage that's listed. Over there in the audience, I suppose, but.
So, good morning, Chair Bethel, Commissioners. Yes, this contract is for Scan It to come in and scan many of our documents. This project will create huge efficiencies for our office, including, filing, refiling, trying to find records, preparing to do field work, actually having access to records in the field that we may not have, thought to take with us at the time, archiving. I mean, huge efficiencies for us, and as well as currently these records are stored in 80 plus, I believe, filing cabinets on the second floor, and weight was a problem in this building before. So, yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay. You have any questions? I just have one. How will the files be stored once you convert them to digital? Are they going to be stored by like their tax lot or their tax ID number? How are they accessible?
So there's quite a bit of metadata. We have property tax account. We have map and tax lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not sure how else they're stored. What other metadata is going to be attached to them?
But if someone has to go search for it, is it going to be the drop-down menu options of how you would search online now? Is that how you're going to go to the archive and look for something, or is it going to be a specific identifier?
So,
Oh, we've got somebody running up behind you.
right.
Sorry.
Please introduce yourself. No,
Rachel
that's okay.
Stell. So we utilize Laserfiche, and there is quite a bit of metadata, doc type. So these would be our working files. We store quite a bit of data in Laserfiche. And we are able to retain what is the most current and utilize retention records to drop things off after they've been retained for the required amount of time. And yeah, you can search by account number, map and tax lot, sometimes subdivision, like legal description type things.
Okay, so it'll be really easy to go find it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
much easier than it is
I
currently.
mean, aside from pulling a drawer out and going, oh, it's right there. Okay.
Well, currently you have to find out if it was put in another drawer for another purpose, or if it's running around out in the field, or if somebody has done their field work and it's somewhere else for review or input, and you can imagine how difficult it is to chase records
Sure.
down sometimes when you need just something in particular. Most of our data is already in our system though, so
Okay, thank you.
you bet.
All right, Commissioner Cameron, would you please make a motion?
Sure. I'll move that we approve a contract for services with Scan It, Inc. in the amount of $425,000 to provide image scanning services to convert deed books and account jackets to digital form through December 31st, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next we're going to move on to community services to consider approval of the grant agreement with Santiam Hearts to Arts on behalf of KYAC FM radio in the amount of $49,700 for non-commercial education radio upgrades for the Santiam Canyon radio station KYAC through June 30th, 2023. Tamara, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Tamara Getch, Director for Community Services. Gentlemen.
Thank you, and good morning.
Could you please introduce yourself for the record?
My name, Ken Cartwright.
And your friend next to you, can he introduce himself as well? That's movable.
So my name's Jeff Ghetto. I'm Hearts to Arts Treasurer and Corporate Secretary.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. So super excited to be here this morning. We have been working really hard in the Canyon communities to do a lot of good work and necessary work. One of the things that arose quite early after the 2020 fires is the recognition that communication in the Canyon communities was compromised due to the wildfires, as well as the terrain. And out of that it became very aware that not only do we have a community need, an individual organization desire to address that need, but also this is a great way for us to make an additional investment in the communities. So today we're here to finalize a contract with your consideration and approval for some advancements for the radio station to allow them to reach all parts of the canyon from the lower parts all the way up to Idana. And the gentlemen here with us today are able to talk about the details of that contract. And then we do have a large check presentation upon your approval of an award.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead.
The radio station is non-commercial, and we've become more than just something to listen to while you drive to work. We've become a place of accurate, timely information. We learned during the fire, when all communication went out, the two things that worked for us to get information in and out of the canyon was a CB radio that we had installed in the station, more of a whim than a real need, but it worked. And our radio station, and we were on the air that evening from 10:30 p.m. until 2 o'clock in the morning, until an Oregon State Trooper came and suggested highly that I leave because of the imminent danger of fire to the building that we were in. After the fire, we learned that many people listened to our broadcasts, and that was their first alert to get out. We've wanted for 8 years to be able to get a signal into Detroit and Idana. Because of the type of license class that we had at that time and our lack of funds, we couldn't do that. And so I've been in contact with Commissioner Cameron and you folks about helping us up there, as well as talking with senators and congresspeople for their help. And the commissioners stepped up to the plate and said, well, what do you need? So we put together a detailed list that would allow us, once the FCC opens the window for the translator, which we expect in the next 12 months, that we'll be able to get. We've found a site in Detroit that will allow us to put up a transmitter and tower, a small tower. But it's because of this that in the future, when we have extreme emergencies, which are a little too frequent up there with traffic accidents, fires, possible earthquakes, and other looming disasters, it will allow us to bring the whole canyon into the community of communication. We've worked very hard to build our new system out in terms of backup power so that we're always on the air. Instead of the incident that happened the night of the fire when all the power was out, and I had to jump start our emergency generator with my truck in order to get on the air. And that won't happen now because we've been making great efforts in getting a large cell battery system and inverters up, as well as emergency generators. So for the county to consider this very necessary need of communication in the canyon, for not just canyon residents, for anyone traveling Highway 22. That's why we're here today, is to appeal to you to approve that contract.
Thanks, Ken. Jeff, did you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you very much, Commissioners, and Tamara, thank you. What I'd like to say is, being a relatively conservative fiscal person, that in addition to the sizable amount of this request and funding, is we're extremely fortunate that we have a group of volunteers, some of which we have FCC radio engineers, licensed radio engineers, who actually live in the canyon and provide incredible service just on a volunteer basis to actually help doing the technical parts of the installation and stuff. And if you ever had to pay for those technical people at whatever the rates that they were, they would require, would almost double the cost of projects like that. So Ken and myself are volunteers in most of our efforts. And we have, like I say, we have other volunteers and a great supporting base also of the community businesses, sponsorship from our local community. So it's really, while we're the face of it, it's the whole community that really is involved in the station. So I wanted to put that on record.
Thank you.
And I'll just add that, to Jeff's point, that the community has raised the entire amount for the first phase of this upgrade, equaling at least $17,000 plus all of the hidden labor costs. So this community values this improvement to this service to our communities, as well as for travelers, as mentioned. So the amount that is being presented to you today helps cross the finish line for them over the course of time. And we know that this is not an easy lift, but we know that because of their dedication and commitment, not only within the station, but within the community, we can help make good things happen in the canyon and keep people safer and more informed. So for your consideration, Commissioners, is a contract with Hearts to Arts for the amount of $49,700.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Ken, did you lose power Monday in that windstorm this week?
No, sir.
Wow. I got home Monday, I don't know, about 4 o'clock, and the power had been out, and CPI was all up and down the canyon. I actually lost some lights, the limbs blew off, and wires were down. I didn't realize that we even had that. It didn't hit Mill City like it hit Detroit.
Well, the wind hit, but the outage didn't
Hit it.
Fortunately.
Right. I was curious, since then, have you had a chance to actually have an emergency where the power went out and your backup generators, you've tested them out, et cetera, in real life?
We actually have. It's a almost bulletproof system.
All right. Good.
And for those watching, what's the dial number for your station?
90.1.
90.1. And that's on the FM radio.
Yes.
Thank you.
We also stream it online as well.
Okay.
That streaming is at kyacfm.org.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
When will this all be completed where we'll be able to hear things in Idana and Detroit? When do you think the date would happen?
We've been at it, we've been working hard with property owners and the city of Detroit to identify a location for the translator and antennas, and we have a couple of sites. We're almost ready to say that part of it's ready. Right now, we're waiting for the FCC. They've been very busy with this new round of Class A NCE licenses, which we just got a few months ago, and have that part of it up and running with the new transmitter. So now that we can get a signal into Detroit, that's the rule, is that you have to be able to hear that signal in the area that you want a repeater in. So we can do that now with our upgrade, and we're waiting for the FCC to open that window. And I can't predict how soon that'll be, but I can tell you that based on past experiences of these very types of licenses, we could see something happen within 6 to 12 months. And all I can say is, as soon as they open that window and we file for a couple of repeaters, we're prepared to be on the air within 30 days of when that license class opens and we qualify for it.
Follow up, if I may. Is this something we can maybe ask our federal delegation due to the wildfire recovery to speed that 6 to 12 month period up? Is that?
Yes, I've already been in contact with Senator Wyden's office. Fritz Graham is a friend, it's one of his aides, and he said, as soon as you need our help, let us know. Any help that the Commissioner's office can also ask for at the same time would be appreciated.
Okay, we can,
Looks like Tamara's taking notes, so she'll get on that. for
yeah,
us.
we can, have Tanisha be writing a letter right now. She's probably, is she down here? No, she's probably up there watching.
She's watching.
Yeah, great.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
Well, I just want to thank you, Ken, for your service that night of the fire. I know a number of friends who did get out because they were listening to your show, and I know you stayed longer than you probably should have, but it really helped a lot of people, so
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Commissioner Wells, would you make a motion, please?
I sure would. Madam Chair, I move that we approve the grant agreement with Santiam Hearts to Arts on behalf of KYAC FM Radio in the amount of $49,700 for non-commercial education radio upgrades for the Santiam Canyon radio station KYAC through June 30th, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. And now, would you join us in the front? We're going to take a picture and give you a giant check.
Ah, there we go.
Is this the second time we've
Yeah,
done this?
you and I.
You can't cash it twice, though, Ken.
I'm not sure you can catch these big ones. They might be.
Of course, it's nice to see you again. Nice to see you. Can I borrow your hat and papers? We're gonna set it down. We'll just set it down. You can set it on something if you like. All right. Do you wanna go stand in the middle so we're, not crooked?
One, two.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. And did you actually get the paper check?
No, that's after we sign.
Okay.
Cameron, he's had to do this twice now. He still hasn't
I
got
know.
the check. He's gonna stop believing
I
this.
just signed it right here, just hand it to him.
Official contract, then we can.
Who's our new treasurer?
Yeah, how come our new treasurer isn't here to hand the check?
To
We'll give him a hard
we need-
time.
We need to introduce him.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Thanks again.
thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to consider approval of the contract for services with Magellan Advisors in the amount of $124,950 to provide broadband consulting services for the 2017 North Santiam Area Broadband Strategy for Economic Development and the 2019 Marion County Broadband Strategic Plan through April 30th, 2023. Kelly.
Why, hello and good morning.
Hi.
Introducing myself, my name's Kelly Weiss. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator here at Marion County, and that's part of our Economic Development Program in our Community Services Department. I'm really going to take the opportunity to say we've been really fortunate to have Eli Heinrichs here. He'll introduce himself and he's going to give the presentation. He's our RARE member this year and he can talk about what that is, but it's a wonderful opportunity for our rural communities in Oregon. So I'm going to turn it over to Eli.
Yeah, definitely. So as Kelly said, my name is Eli Heinrichs. I'm an AmeriCorps RARE member. The RARE program is an acronym. It stands for Resource Assistance for Rural Environments, and it's based out of the University of Oregon, and it's a rural capacity building program. So I'm with the Economic Development Program working on rural broadband. And a part of that is this contract that we've been working on for a couple months with Magellan Advisors for broadband consulting. So we're here basically to give you all the opportunity to hear more about the proposed contract with Magellan Advisors, and specifically give you the opportunity to either approve the contract, amend the contract and approve it, or deny the contract. Before we get started, I think it's a little important to actually cover a little bit of the history of the county's work with broadband. Basically, since 2017, the county has been working on rural broadband. As a program, we've kind of thought through this in phases, just a good way to wrap our heads around it. Specifically phase 1, 2, and 3. We started with phase 1 in 2017. That was specifically about how we identify the problem, basically seeing, is broadband an issue? Is this something we need to work on? And then planning for future projects. Then in 2018, we moved into phase 2. That's when we actually started implementing the recommendations that we found during the project planning. And that looked like broadband build-outs, policy development in small cities, and also education on why broadband is an issue. Now we're starting to move into phase 3, which is more so specifically focusing on that middle mile build-out. And then recently with the passing of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, we are now actively preparing for grants and how we can do our best to help the county poise itself for success in applying for those grants, and then hopefully getting money to do some more work that we've been doing in the past, but on a much broader scale. If you look at the bottom of this visual that we have here, you can kind of see how long we've been working with Magellan. We first started in 2017 as a part of phase 1, and then our second contract with them was in phase 2. To get a little bit more into that, phase 1 with Magellan was specifically about developing a strategic plan for broadband. This resulted in the development of the North Santiam Canyon area broadband strategy for economic development, and then a county-wide broadband strategic plan. From those documents and working with Magellan, the county got 4 recommendations to move forward with in terms of working on rural broadband. Those recommendations were small city policy development, shared infrastructure trenching policy development, and county rights-of-way, broadband build-out in the North Santiam Canyon, and then connecting agricultural communities and businesses to broadband fiber. After we had gone through this planning process, we then moved into phase 2 with Magellan. This was specifically about project implementation. How do we take those recommendations from those plans and actually make them a reality? I could talk you through all these specific implementation accomplishments that we had. The gist of the story is we worked on several broadband build-out projects in Detroit and Idana, as well as more agricultural parts of the county, connecting over 500 properties to broadband, as well as developing specific broadband policies for small cities, including Jefferson and Silverton. So now we move into this phase 3 contract. With this contract, we're specifically looking at 3 tasks. The first being use cases for agribusinesses, the second being targeted agricultural broadband deployment, and the third being North Santiam Canyon area broadband development. Each of these are designed to further the strategies that we originally identified in those first strategic plans, all while building a case for why Marion County is a good partner for the federal government or the state to partnership with infrastructure dollars when it comes to broadband funding. I'll also note with task 3, the North Santiam Canyon area broadband development, a lot of that is redoing the initial work that we did in 2017 in the canyon with that plan. That plan was completed before the wildfires in 2020. This specific task item is going to go back, redo an analysis of what gaps there are currently in the asset infrastructure for broadband out there, and also identify strategies and recommendations to move forward and basically pick up where we left off. So here's a quick breakdown of the budget for the actual contract. The total contract cost is going to be $124,950 over 2 fiscal years. That's going to be fiscal year 21-22. We already have that allocated on our budget. And then we're in our proposed budget for fiscal year 22-23, we're planning to spend $95,000 on the actual contract. I do want to make a note here with the budget breakdown by task. In the contract that we sent off to Finance, Exhibit C is a copy of the proposal that we negotiated with them. There is an error in the total cost for each of the breakdown tasks. The total cost for services is correct. It was just there was an extra zero in one spot, and not all the numbers were right where they should be. It was about $10,000 off, but we're in the process of getting with Magellan to get a updated version of that contract. Once again, the total cost is the same. It's just fixing a couple of the errors there. That way, then we have a up-to-date, correct contract to move forward with. So now we get to action steps.
I'm just curious, Jane, how do we approve a contract that's not right today?
I think you would have to verbally or in writing change the number. I mean, they can't approve a contract if the numbers aren't right in here. I understand the total, but if you're breaking down, do you have that number? Can you do an addendum?
Yeah,
The slide prior has the correct numbers.
Does
Yeah.
the contract itself have
So
the right
it's the contract has the correct numbers.
Okay.
Where the error is in the proposal that Magellan submitted, which is in Exhibit C. So the contract is correct, the Exhibit C is not. And we have worked with Magellan as of yesterday to get an updated table for their proposal.
So I
We
think
can
you
note
could-
that in the motion.
Yeah, I think you could remedy that in
your
your
motion.
motion.
Okay,
When we're ready.
yeah, okay, thank you. Is there any questions?
No, it's not my motion, so.
I
it's not my-
I saw you
it's
scratching
not
your
my
head.
problem.
We both were like,
Well, are you done?
Yeah, so we're now to action steps. So this is where you can approve, do not approve, or in this case, approve with edits.
So I do have a question then before we get to the motion. Can you go back to the phase 2, 4-step implementation, that one?
Yes.
I don't have my glasses on, so I see that there's some properties impacted. So overall with phase 2, how many properties were totally impacted? Do you know?
Totally impacted, over 500. If I'm doing math, around 510. I'm not the best at math without a
That's okay,
calculator.
so over 500.
But over 500 properties were passed. And that's one of those we're actually working with service providers now to try and figure out who all has been connected since, because these are the numbers as of the completion of the project. That number of properties were impacted. But that doesn't mean they couldn't have built out from that original project, which enabled, a wider network, which means that more people likely were impacted. This is just the impact, right after the project is completed.
So what's the end goal for this? I think it's difficult for the average citizen to understand why we're doing this and what it would take for an individual citizen to potentially bring themselves broadband. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and maybe the cost associated with, what we're doing to help the community through this?
I think it would be good to explain what middle mile is versus fiber to home and how middle mile helps support fiber to home, but it's not actually providing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think we'll start small and then get big.
Okay.
Starting small, the difference between middle mile and fiber to the home. Middle mile is if you see broadband lines running along telephone lines or underground along a road, that's middle mile. That doesn't actually connect to anybody's house or property, that just passes their property. That's when you get to fiber to the home or fiber to the business. That's when the provider actually takes a line from the middle mile and pulls it to the property. So when we're talking about phase 3, we're looking specifically at middle mile. When it comes to fiber to the home and such, a lot of the times the providers will take that on. But I know in the past it has been an issue where residents have had issues getting that to their home. But people in Marion County have been really creative in solving that. I know out near St. Paul there was an instance where a bunch of farmers banded together and dug their own trenches to get into their home. There have been instances where the county has kind of helped in a sense, negotiate with the providers on how to get fiber to the home if it's a little expensive. But specifically when we're looking at these projects, the end goal is fiber to the home and fiber to the business. That's something that when we get to the point of working through the grants, we're going to be actively thinking through and how we make sure that when the county's spending money, it's not just putting broadband in the ground where nobody can get it. We want to make sure that it's getting to where it needs to be, whether that's a farm, whether that's a rural business, whether that's a residence. That's the end goal in terms of what we're thinking for grants. In terms of what's the end goal for just the county's general work on broadband, we're really, as a economic development program, trying to strategically invest in broadband where it's going to generate the most economic value for communities and residents in rural Marion County. For us, that kind of goes back to The phases we've thought out, each step of the way, it's very much been focused on how we strategically invest to make sure that there's a return that's going to benefit the people that it impacts. A good example here is to look at the outcome targets for phase 3, specifically the canyon and ag. For the canyon, that looks like how do we make sure that businesses up there have the internet access they need to effectively advertise and bring people in. Say if tourists, really want to make sure that they can post on Instagram while they're there. There are a lot of pieces that internet enables that's going to help those communities grow and also recover during the wildfires. I know communications was an issue during the wildfires. If you have reliable internet access, it doesn't fix the problem completely, but it makes it easier. In regards to smart agriculture, what we've found, and I think is widely accepted at this point, is that internet for agriculture decreases costs, increases yields, and overall makes farms more successful. For Marion County, that means our small family farms getting internet access is going to really help them stay in the green. So while we're thinking through rural broadband access and as the county's working on this, these are the things we're keeping in mind and the things we're looking down the road to try and target to make sure that everything we're doing is doing the best for the people that we're trying to serve.
Did you intend to make that pun?
No.
Sorry, couldn't help but ask. And then lastly, just to confirm, this project and the work that the county is doing is currently just getting the broadband to the environment, and then eventually there will possibly be some projects to be able to help individuals gain access to that, right? Because we're not I want to make sure we're clear that we're not bringing broadband to the homes and businesses directly. We're just bringing it to the community so it's more accessible in the future.
Yes.
What we're doing is effectively buying down the cost. So the cost to get that line, that fiber line out to these rural communities is extremely high because of the miles you have to go to get to them. So our efforts really create the conduit and those lines, that's what middle mile is, to get to those communities. And then those communities have a better availability of fiber. They would have not been able to afford it before, and now it's in their reach. And then we can work with Magellan and others to determine how we can further buy down those costs for those communities who at least now have fiber to the community.
Perfect, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, Commissioner Cameron.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I do, I want to just say this. I was on the phone this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning with Ziply, and their service is fantastic. I'm going to give a shout out. Because of the storm I was referring to, a limb came down. So on the middle mile, which goes in front of my house, then from up above to my house, a limb came down and pushed that wire down where you could actually grab it walking across my yard. And because I have cameras, I just saw a motion in my front yard. They're already out there fixing it. And I called them at 6 o'clock this morning. That's how good, we've got some good service providers that have really responded. Yeah. And the internet service is great. I will make a motion, Madam Chair. I'll make a motion that we approve a contract for services with Magellan Advisors in the amount of $124,950 to provide broadband service, consulting services for the 2017 North Santiam Area Broadband Strategy for Economic Development and 2019 Marion County Broadband Strategic Plan through April 30th, 2023, with a note that on page 16 of the Magellan proposal, the task and description line number 2, targeted agricultural broadband development for 235 hours at $210 an hour, should be noted that there's an extra zero. It should be stated as $44,100, not $44,000, $1,000. You can't even make that number up. So,
441,000.
what?
441,000 is what it says, and it should be 41,000.
Well, there's a comma in the wrong spot. So we're going to delete a zero off that. It's $44,100 is what it should be in my motion, and we'll note that.
I will second the motion.
Are you glad I got to make that motion?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and I'm sure Brenda will watch back and get that verbatim in the minutes. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Eli, just before you pop off the microphone, when are you leaving us?
So as of now, my term of service is set to end in July.
Okay, so we still have you for a
So
little while
I'll
longer.
be around. I'll be around.
All right, I did try to recruit him recently, and his mom said no. So,
What is it with moms, man?
those moms, Midwest moms even.
Yeah, I know. She's invested in me coming back to Indiana. So
Yeah, well,
I haven't given her an answer on that one yet. So
good, well, I'll continue to work my magic then over here. Thank you for what you're doing for us. Thanks, Kelly.
thank
All
you.
right, now we're gonna move on to Health and Human Services.
Did we vote on that, or did we just?
Yeah, did we?
I
Oh,
don't think
sorry,
you did.
wait.
You didn't vote, you made a motion.
made a
I did,
motion.
and then I moved on. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry about that. The motion passes. Now we'll move on to Health and Human Services to consider approval of the contract for services with Matthew Pyler in the amount of $234,000 to provide assertive community treatment services for adult behavioral health individuals retroactive to February 11th, 2022 through February 10th, 2023. Hi, Brian.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Matthews, the Health and Human Services Administrator. And the first contract that I'm seeking approval for today is the contract for services with Matt Peeler. He is a licensed mental health nurse practitioner in our adult behavioral health program, more specifically the Assertive Community Treatment Team. And so that is, the acronym is ACT, so you may hear it referred to as ACT. That is a multidisciplinary team that provides evidence-based practices that really is focused on improving outcomes to the people with most severe mental illness and most at risk of psychiatric hospitalization or involvement with the criminal justice system. This is a very high-need population. Matt is able to prescribe psychotropic medications to that team, so things like antidepressants, mood stabilizers, those types of prescriptions. He provides assessments as well as, monitoring the health of people that are taking those medications to make sure they're effective, assisting with, the diagnosis and the treatment plan type of work with that population. He also will provide some services for our general adult behavioral health outpatient program, and that would be kind of a similar array of services, just with a slightly different population. Basically providing medical assessments and oversight of those medications for those that we serve that require them. I don't know if you have any other specific questions about Matt or his work?
I believe Commissioner Willis has questions.
I do. I was just curious, we had some negotiations on this contract with Mr., is it Peeler?
Yes.
And he wanted to add some language to it. Could you just talk about that a little bit?
That was really basically the development of the statement of work. So initially, we had been working with Matt in his capacity with Iris Telehealth. So actually, he was somebody who we were contracting with Iris Telehealth, and he was working with our team since 2021 when we established that contract. He has since decided that he no longer wanted to work directly with Iris Telehealth and wanted to work with Marion County directly. So we had to work on a contract that was a slightly different scope of work than Iris Telehealth, which is more general, not him specifically, because that's really basically a staffing agency. So in any of our programs, we may need to tap into Iris Telehealth resources to get a prescriber available. And this was really more specific around the work that he's going to do in ACT, because that is also a treatment team that has a lot of requirements based in their fidelity model, and we wanted to make sure that we had sufficient time and capacity and work that fit within our ACT team specifically, and less of a more generalist type of scope of work that he was working under with Iris Telehealth. So it was kind of the back and forth between that ultimately caused a little bit of a delay and getting the right language.
Because he didn't want to have language in here that he was going to be doing Iris Telehealth work anymore.
Right, he didn't want to make it seem that, I could be pulled into Psychiatric Crisis Center or CBH. It wasn't something to support all of behavioral health. He was really signing on because he was committed to wanting to support our ACT population primarily, and so the statement of work was around that. Okay.
So the contract says that he'll be providing up to 36 hours per week, up to. So what's the minimum expectation? It's a large amount of money that we're paying one person for services.
It is definitely a large amount of money. So I think our hope is to be towards the high end of that contract because there's always a need. And oftentimes we are limited in terms of the number of people that we can onboard and let into services based on the fact that we can't get skilled medical assessments. So I think, contracts are always written to an up to because they can't exceed that. I would expect that he would work pretty close to these hours of what we're estimating. And the good news is when you deal with these high-level professionals, almost anything that they do is billable. So we are able to recover a lot of these costs through the services they provide. So when he's providing a skilled assessment, medical assessment, we can bill that medical assessment and should be able to recoup most, if not all, of his costs for that.
That's great. I guess my concern is there's not a minimum expectation in the contract. And I think that this is one of our most high-volume programs. I mean, I had a conversation last week with a community provider who, because we haven't been able to provide certain services kind of rapidly, they've been receiving some of our citizens. And I guess I just want to say that I hope that the up to threshold is great, but that it's being utilized excessively up to.
Right.
So that way there's always somebody available to support the community that we're paying somebody to support for.
Yes, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And there are minimum, and I don't know the exact number of minimum hours. I think it's pretty close to this that we are required in the ACT fidelity model. I'd have to look it up, so I don't know specifically, but there are, based on the number of people enrolled in that program, which we have a team that's set to support 80 people in our ACT program, there's a minimum number of hours that we actually have to have of a licensed mental health nurse practitioner, which is gonna be Matt's role, and we would actually have audit findings if we fall below that threshold. So we do monitor it, so we do monitor kind of the minimum level needed to make sure we're meeting that. Offhand, I don't know exactly what those hours are.
That's okay. So is there a backup contract if he's not available? Are you then pivoting to Iris still?
We do still have a contract in place for Iris if we need to. We do have some other prescribers. So for example, we'll talk about the next contract is also one of our ABH Medical Services team members. So we do have other people in the building, other people available if we needed to. But really the goal of ACT is that you have kind of a consistent team around them. So you don't really want to be pulling. That's sort of on an emergency, we absolutely would pull people in if we needed to do it. But the goal is you're kind of serving a set population, so you get to know that person. It's not really sort of a one-off, so you'd really try to have a lot of consistency, which is what we would be expecting Matt to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any further questions?
I'm good.
Commissioner Perry, any questions?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Willis, would you make the motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that we approve the contract for services with Matthew Peeler in the amount of $234,000 to provide assertive community treatment services for adult behavioral health individuals retroactive to February 11th, 2022 through February 10th, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. And we'll move on still with Ryan to consider approval of amendment number 1 to the contract for services with Dr. K.L. Dieter to add $395,319.50 for a new contract total of $704,199.50 to provide medical assessment and supervision for Marion County Health and Human Services adult mental health clients through June 31, 2023.
Great, thank you. So yes, I am seeking a contract with Dr. Dieter. She has been with Marion County and with our adult behavioral health program for about 10 years at this point. So she's been really committed to our program and dedicated to public service. She does very similar work to what I described with Matt in terms of, Dr. Dieter will provide medical assessments, prescribe and dispense medications. Those would be psychotropic medications like the antidepressants, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics. She would evaluate treatment results and consult with treatment team members and really are there to sort of stabilize our adult behavioral health outpatient team. So this is not ACT specific, but these are still people in our adult behavioral health that have severe and persistent mental illness. And so this would be monitoring kind of the rest of our more general outpatient services. Dr. Dieter's part of our medical services team. We have, I believe, 7 prescribers across all of behavioral health. I think 4 of them are in our adult behavioral health team. And so it's really, really critical for us in terms of anytime we're getting a referral, taking in a new individual into the program, or just doing, ongoing monitoring of how people are responding to treatment and how people are responding to the medications that they are on. It's really critical that we have sufficient capacity of, high-level medical professionals. She's a psychiatrist, so yeah, she provides a critical role and service for our adult behavioral health medical team. And I don't know if there's any specific questions about her contract.
No? Okay. I don't have any either. I would, I need to go on a tour of this.
Oh, do you someday want to come to meet our medical team?
I do, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we have medical team regular meetings. Maybe that could be something we can get you scheduled.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll work with Matt.
Okay, thanks.
Madam Chair, if you're ready for motion?
I am.
I'll move that we approve amendment number 1 to contract services with Dr. K. Dieter to add $395,319.50 for a new contract total of $704,199.50 to provide medical assessment and supervision for Marion County Health and Human Services adult mental health clients through January 31st, 2023.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Great. Thank you,
Thanks, Brian.
Commissioners.
All right, now we're going to move on to Public Works. Chris Trussell is going to join us to consider approval of the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Consumer and Business Services in the amount of $1,582,664 to provide pass-through grant funds for the fire hardening of structures rebuilt by victims of the 2020 wildfires through June 30th, 2023.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Chris Trussell, Marion County Building Official. I'm here today to present an intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Consumer and Business Services to administer and distribute grant funds under the wildfire program through June 30th, 2023. The Department of Consumer and Business Services was granted funds from legislation to create a wildfire grant program to distribute $1,582,664 to Marion County property owners to help incentivize the rebuilding of structures that are affected by the 2020 wildfires. These funds will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. Property owners, including manufactured homes and commercial businesses that were damaged or destroyed by the 2020 wildfires, can receive grant funds. These grant funds for using fire-resistant methods and materials of construction when they rebuild. Fire hardening is an important tool to help make structures be more resistant to fire. Fire hardening includes actions by building with fire-resistant materials and construction methods, such as siding and roofing that resist ignition, installing fire-resistant windows to protect openings, and using attic ventilation devices that help reduce spread of fire and ember intrusion during a fire event. The intent of this program is to help property owners affected with wildfires to build back to more fire-resistant and provide better protection for their investment in communities in the future. Marion County will administer the wildfire grant program by receiving applications, verifying applicants qualify for the grant funds, perform inspections to verify completion, and distributing of grant funds to applicants that qualify. Property owners can access applications online or in our office, and will be mailing information to the property owners already rebuilding or with completed homes. Staff recommends that the board approve intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Consumer and Business Services in the amount of $1,582,664 for the fire hardening grant. With that being said, I'm open to any questions.
Oh, good.
Got an hour?
I just have a couple questions. Thanks, Matt, for getting me the OAR on this. So the OAR that accompanies these dollars says the applicant must have completed work on at least one qualifying fire hardening improvement on a residential or commercial building that was damaged or destroyed by qualifying wildfire. And then Exhibit A shows us what those options could be. So the first question is, how is the citizen, I heard you say that you're going to notify them, so I assume you're going to send some form of a letter saying that these funds are available. How do they gain access to it? And is it a percentage of the cost of the material that they've rebuilt with, or is it the full cost of that material?
So we will be notifying applicants that have already applied and have already completed their project by emailing them or sending out application forms to them, along with kind of some additional documentation that's provided by State Bill and Codes Division. The funds distributed, that is a set fee, set fund that they will receive regardless of the valuation of the cost
Okay.
or the construction. So if they install one of those options, that is the set fee that they will receive, or set fund they'll receive.
So of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options, if they do all 7 of these, then they get the proposed amount, max amount that's listed here?
Correct.
But if they only do one, then they just get that
Correct.
bucket?
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. You have any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here, do you want the information I have?
No, I got it. No, I'm looking at it. So Chris, what's the definition, you said, of a home that has been damaged? I know when we did property tax refunds, we said if you lost use of your home. So can you talk about that?
So the
Because
intent.
there are homes that survive that maybe don't have these things that they could qualify for.
So the intent of this program is that it's for properties where the structures were physically damaged by the fire or were completely destroyed. So it is not for homes that were not affected by the fire directly, to where if they come in and retrofit it with a Class A roof that wasn't actually physically burnt or damaged, those would not qualify for this program.
So an individual where their vents still have ash coming in because, the fire got in there, they wouldn't qualify for the $150 on a new vent?
That'd be correct.
If their house didn't burn down?
That'd be correct.
Or a manufactured home that still has combustible skirting, replacing theirs with a concrete block, et cetera, would not qualify for $500?
That is correct.
Okay.
So the house has to actually be damaged from it to require them to fix it, to then upgrade to this, but not, so it's not a,
So smoke damage doesn't qualify? An insurance, would an insurance claim for smoke damage?
I would have to look into that specifically under this grant program.
I think it's important. There's several homes that had damage that required them to do some form of recovery. For us to really know what that definition is, so we can support them through this process if it's eligible, and if not, potentially look at the other grants that are out there to see if we can secure those to help those victims too.
I can get that for you.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I think that's a good point, because if a home did survive, but we're trying to provide grants for, we want to be as, I'm going to use this word for Commissioner Willis, we want to be as liberal as possible on allowing, on allowing
I prefer
people-
generous.
Okay, whatever. As
Available.
generous as possible for people that are in the wildfire to harden their homes, right? And so if there's a way we can say, well, if you had smoke damage, you had an insurance claim of something, we need to look at the rules and see if we can qualify those people. It's probably gonna be hard to get rid of all this money, because it's not big grants. It's small amounts, right?
Yeah, for
Like
the
the
most-
vents, is it $150 per vent?
That is for a complete vent installation.
Yeah. So it's gonna cost you $1,000 to do all of them, and you're gonna get $150 back. How many people will apply for that? Right.
Well, hopefully we don't make
That'd
it
be-
too complicated for them, and they all do, because there's a bucket of money here that needs to be
Yeah.
emptied.
Right.
Yeah, if you're rebuilding the whole structure, I guess you could probably qualify for a whole bunch of these, but, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the actual rules allow us to do, but stretch it.
Okay.
My experience is that the state really should just give the county the money and we could structure the programs. That when their programs, they tend to be too hard and annoying and frustrating for people.
We have someone joining us, a celebrity.
A celebrity.
Just can't say seated. So a couple of things just to point
Please
out.
introduce yourself for the
Oh,
record.
excuse me, Brandon Reich, Building and Planning Division Manager. Pardon me. A couple of things is the money actually could go fairly quickly. We've got enough money, if every home qualified for everything, we've got about enough money for 300 homes. We've already got that many homes in the process. So just the homes we have right now and a few additional could qualify and use up all of the money. And the other part is, it is a very little amount of money compared to the amount of work it takes on that home.
Right.
So it's more of a rebate than a grant or something that, it's not a great incentive for, if you want to do some work to improve your house and you get back $500, and the work costs you $50,000 or you get back $2,000. It's not a great incentive to do the work, but it's a little bit of a rebate if you had to do the work or you've done the work. And then we'll check on the details to see how much this program can be used. And there could be a demand in the legislature for additional money, because this money for us, we think we got the most of any county, is going to go really fast.
Good. Great.
I think it's a rebate, and it's great with inflation and gas prices. Maybe somebody wants that $500 check so they can fill their boat and be on the lake in a few months. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioner Cameron?
No. No. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Is it mine?
No. Commissioner Willis, would you please make a
All right,
motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Consumer and Business Services in the amount of $1,582,664 to provide pass-through grant funds for the fire hardening of structures rebuilt by victims of the 2020 wildfires through June 30th, 2023.
I have a motion and a second. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks. I do have one question. I noticed last week that the state also released their funds. They put out a post, the Sandiam integration team shared that, and it said the state, the counties, and other parties have these funds. And so what I was confused on is this the only way our citizens can access these dollars, or could they go to another program that maybe the state is hosting grants through as well?
So this program, the Building Codes Division received the money from legislation. Until we sign the IGA contract, we don't actually get that funds to us to distribute. But those funds that they were speaking of, I believe, is this program funds. So it's
Okay.
not another program outside of this one that I'm aware of.
Okay. Tamara, can you follow up with SIT to make sure that the information they put out, because it didn't specifically guide people to the county, it was just kind of a flyer that said, hey, this money is released. And I did ask Jan about it, going, God, they've already released theirs, where are we? And then we're here today. I just don't want our community to get confused, to think there's more than one bucket that they can reach into, that it really has to go through us. And make sure that information is clear to the survivors. Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. Thank you for your work on this.
Thank you.
We know it's more. You're doing great. Okay, we're gonna recess the Board of Commissioners and convene a contract review board. And under our first action item of the contract review board, communities.
Madam Chair, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Or at least get counsel. So I'd like to do, I think what we could do here is do item 2 first
Okay,
and approve that, make a motion and approve that while we're in the contract review board.
okay.
Then we could do come back to item number 1, and then that motion would be, at that time, is to close the contract review board and approve that motion. And then when we come back, then we could do item number 11. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Not at all.
Well, let's go ahead and back.
I think I understand what you were trying to get to.
My recommendation would be that the contract review board reviews the community services contract, the health and human services contract, closes the contract review board after it makes its decision, and then comes back to item 11.
Okay.
Well, when are you going to do number 1?
Number 1 is part of contract review board. I don't think that there is an action on the contract itself today.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Is there not? I thought there was last week there was an intended action on item 1. So today, are you asking for an intended action?
We are requesting an approval of a special procurement.
Yeah, under contract review board, that action needs to take place.
But there's not a contract to approve.
Right.
Okay.
So we're
my
approving the
gosh.
special procurement,
Okay.
we're not approving the contract,
Got
if
it.
we vote that way.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll get there.
All right. So we're in contract review board to consider an action for community services to consider approval of an order for contract-specific special procurement with Galaxis for the licensing and annual maintenance of the community resource network that connects community resources to people from July 2021 through June 30th, 2026. Camber.
Good morning, commissioners and member of the board. My name is Camber Schlag, and I'm the Contracts and Procurement Manager within the Finance Department.
And I'm Tamara Getch, Director of Marion County Community Services, which houses the Community Resource Network. So for the public's information around the Community Resource Network, the network is an online program that is available to organizations that case manage individuals who have unmet needs such as bedding, clothing, a host of things that could be considered, and they enter into an agreement with Marion County and become a member of the Community Resource Network, which allows them to post requests for needs, unfilled needs on the Community Resource Network. This is a free service, and really the intent is really to meet unmet needs that are not able to be received or filled by other available resources within the county. So much like some of our conversations earlier in the discussion today of kind of the middle mile, this is like the last mile. So they've taken the journey and have really looked at lots of other options that are available in the community to help meet a need. When those fail to meet that need, they can enter a request into the CRN, and within the network of the resource network, we're able to then connect with organizations and philanthropic individuals or organizations to help meet those unmet needs.
Thanks, Tamara.
So the Community Services posted the special procurement to Oregon Buys on March 16th, 2022, and it closed on March 23rd with no protests that were received. The special procurement promotes the public interest that could not be practically realized by complying with ORS 279B, which is doing a request for a proposal, doing an invitation to bid, because the contractor currently working with the county owns the software. So by continuing to work with the contractor, it provides continuity, it saves financial resources that otherwise we would have to go recreate a new website, purchase new software. And so ultimately, this allows the Community Resource Network to continue to help clients that will benefit from the ongoing knowledge, support, and expertise. And do you have any questions for us?
No.
No questions. Okay, Commissioner Cameron,
Commissioner Willis's turn.
Okay, just kidding. Commissioner Willis.
Okay, Madam Chair, I would move that we approve an order for a contract-specific special procurement with Galexis for the licensing and annual maintenance of the Community Resource Network that connects community resources to people from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2026.
My bad.
It's fine.
I'll second the motion.
You can do the next one. I'll let you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
You want me to restate it?
Nope, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I actually make notes on who's supposed to go.
So did I, but I didn't pay attention to them.
Okay,
They were
thank
off.
you both.
Thank you.
Jane?
I just want to, so now that the board has granted this special procurement, in 2 weeks, you'll come back with a contract for them to approve, correct?
I think it's on next week.
It's on next week.
So
yeah.
that's why there's no contract, because you're approving their ability to enter a contract today.
Okay, thank you. All right, and now we'll move on.
Did we vote?
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't we? All those in favor, please say aye.
We just did the first one, though. We haven't done
Aye.
that.
I guess we
Aye.
did.
Aye, the
Right.
motion
Oh,
passes.
sorry.
Thank you. I mean,
My
I
bad.
did, but that's okay.
I couldn't remember if
We'll
I
do
did
it
or not.
twice.
Doesn't hurt to do
I
it.
couldn't remember
We
who made the
reaffirmed
last motion.
twice that we're happy to do this. I know.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, thank you. Okay, and now under contract reward, we'll continue with Health and Human Services to consider approval of an order that grants an exemption to reinstate an expired contract with Premier Office Technologies to provide medical transcription services. Ryan and Camber.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Camber Schlag. I'm the Contracts and Procurement Manager located in Finance.
Morning, I'm Ryan Matthews, the Administrator for the Health and Human Services Department.
And we are before you this morning requesting an exemption from the Marion County Public Contracting Rules. Section 10-0570 is reinstatement of expired contracts. which allows an expired contract to be reinstated in full force and effect as if it had never expired. The rule regarding the reinstatement of expired contracts actually limits the reinstatement to 90 days. So we are before you this morning asking for an exemption because this contract would technically, within your approval, be reinstated at 157 days past due. The reinstatement of this contract allows the county to receive medical transcription services. The county would begin contract negotiations with a new vendor once the new State of Oregon statewide price agreement is established. It's estimated that it will be established around May of 2022, and it is anticipated that it could take up to 90 days to negotiate a contract with the new state-provided vendor, and also to work with our information technology department to implement the new program for these services. And I will go ahead and turn it over to Ryan Matthews to explain the program.
Sure. So first I want to, we're having a lot of discussions about our medical team today. So this is another component of that. So the medical transcription services really support our medical team. So they dictate basically their chart notes into an audio file. We use this company to convert that audio file into a written report that then goes in the client chart. So it has some synergy with the previous contracts that we approved today. But the reason for the reinstatement and the delay here, I think, is it's really connected to our electronic health record project with Dr. Cloud EHR. I think there was sort of sometimes there could be a mental shortcut taken where you think, oh, this system we're working on will go live, we will not need this contract anymore because this functionality will be built into that system. The contract dates and project implementation didn't align as well as maybe we thought when we were sort of shortcutting in our mind this contract. So we have gone live with our public health services with Dr. Cloud EHR back in March, so it's been a few weeks now. We're in the process of training and prepping for implementation of behavioral health in May. But unfortunately, that left a gap with the transcription services where we don't currently have the technology to go with an alternative plan, which is where we hope to be able to just run this through our EHR and not have to have a separate contract with the company to do that. We'll have to test that functionality, we'll have to go live, we'll have to make sure it works, so that's part of the reason we want to extend this out to make sure we have a buffer. We may ultimately decide, it's integrated into our EHR, but I think we're actually better off with a vendor or doing a different process, so we want to have some flexibility there. Also as we negotiate with the vendor, because there's licenses you'll have to purchase for our medical team to use the specific transcription service, so there's some of that. But that's really why this sort of resulted in an expiring contract, but still in a critical need that we have over the short term for this service. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about that.
Any questions? I'm just a little bummed that there wasn't like a ringing of the bell or a ribbon cutting or something when that system went live. It's been such a process.
It has been a process. I think until we are fully there, we don't want to jinx anything by ringing any bells.
Okay, all right.
So we want to get there, but I think, once if we get past that May hurdle and get, especially behavioral health, which is such a large book of business and more complex, than public health, we'll be celebrating. So yeah, for sure.
That's great. Okay, so I have no questions. Commissioner Cameron.
Madam Chair, I'll move that we approve an order that grants an exemption to reinstate an expired contract with Premier Office Technologies to provide medical transcription services.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, we will now adjourn as Contract Review Board and reconvene as Board of Commissioners to consider item 11 on our agenda, Health and Human Services. Consider approval of amendment number 3 to the contract for services with Premier Office Technologies to add $100,000 for a new contract total of $400,000 to provide medical transcription services through June 30th, 2023. Ryan.
All right. Ryan Matthews, Administrator for the Health and Human Services Department. I am here seeking approval of an amendment to add $100,000 to our contract with Premier Office Technologies. This company provides medical transcription services for our medical team in behavioral health. Our medical team makes their chart notes in audio files through dictation, and we send this to this vendor in order to convert those audio files into written files that we can put in client charts to maintain patient records. This will be a service that we do hope to integrate in our new electronic health record, which we're making a lot of progress in, and we believe we will be going live in behavioral health in May. So we should know shortly thereafter how that will function and how that will work and how that might impact this contract in terms of ending it early, potentially, hopefully, as long as everything goes well. But in the meantime, we do have a need for medical transcription services to continue to support our medical team and those individuals that they serve. And so I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Great. I will take a motion. Commissioner Willis?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve Amendment Number 3 to the contract for services with Premier Office Technologies to add $100,000 for a new contract total of $400,000 to provide medical transcription services through June 30th, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Ryan.
Commissioners.
Okay, the calendar. I'll read the calendar. Today is Wednesday, April 6th. It's not 9 a.m. We were here at 9 a.m. for the board session location, Senator Hearing Room, first floor, 555 Court Street. For 6 this afternoon at 1:15, we have a BOC CAO meeting, executive session if needed pursuant to ORS 192.6602A-B-D-E-F-H-I in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then at 4 p.m. today, we have an AOC Natural Resources Steering Committee meeting, which is virtual. Tomorrow, 4/7 at 7 a.m., there is a Salem Chamber of Commerce Public Policy Marion County Commissioner Candidate Interview. Marion Polk County Commissioner Candidate Interview. What's that?
Salem Chamber.
Oh, okay, sorry, it's virtual. I know what it is. And then tomorrow at 9:30 on the 7th, we have a department head and elected officials meeting, Commissioners Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street Northeast. And then Thursday at 3:30, a Mid-Willamette Valley Area Commission on Transportation meeting, which is virtual. On Thursday, the 7th, at 4:30, we had the happy hour benefiting the Epping Homestead Boys and Girls Club campaign at the Salem Convention Center, 200 Commercial Street Southeast. Monday, the 11th, at 1 p.m., we have an AOC Board of Directors meeting, which is virtual. And, excuse me, Monday, the 11th, at 3 p.m., we have the IDANA Detroit District's interviews, Fire District interviews, Commissioners Boardroom, 555 Court Street Northeast. And then on Tuesday, the 12th at 9:30, we have management update, Commissioners Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then on the 12th at noon, we have the city's Marion County meeting at the Country Cottage at 1776 Country Club Road in Woodburn.
I like that place.
Do you? Good to know. And then on Tuesday, the 12th at 1:30, we have a work session, ASA Plan Update, Commissioners Boardroom, 555 Court Street Northeast. And then on the 12th at 4 p.m., we have a Marion County Public Safety Coordinating Council meeting located at the Commissioners Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then on the 13th, Wednesday at 9 a.m., we're back here for board session in the Senator Hearing Room, 1st floor, 555 Court Street. And then on Wednesday, the 13th at 1:15, we have a BOC CAO meeting, executive session if needed pursuant to ORS 192.6602A-B-D-E-F-H-I in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then on the 13th, Wednesday at 2:30, we have another BOC CAO meeting, executive session if needed pursuant to ORS 192.6602A-B-D-E-F-H-I in the Commissioners Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. We have two back-to-back and they're overlapping. And also, just for clarification, on Monday, the 11th at 3 p.m., the IDANA Detroit Fire District interviews is the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of 555 Court Street, which is not on the calendar. Thank you. Would you like to add anything on the record today?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me if I want to add anything to the calendar. I hope not.
No.
Oh.
No, please don't. Okay. The lake is filling.
Oh my gosh.
Yesterday
I left this morning. Did you go up there?
No, I saw a funny post yesterday by one of the store personnel members that there was some random runaway docks floating. The water came up so fast that they released out of the, the wooded area for canes, and so Dane had to go out there and troll them back in.
Well, I noticed when I was driving up last night that there was, I couldn't see from the road, but I could tell that there was 2 orange cones on something floating out in the middle of the lake. Like Garrett had gone out there and marked these things so people wouldn't run into it. I couldn't tell if that was a dock or it just looked like a couple of actually floating logs.
Well, there's lots of logs.
That had broke away from the marina or something. But it was great to see all the trailers like that windstorm. I'm thankful that, well, there's always good and the bad, that there aren't as many trees up there because it doesn't look like there was any damage to any of the trailers, but there's a lot of trailers that are in canes. And then this morning when I drove over the bridge coming down, the water's way up.
Yeah.
And all that rain that we got was good, so.
I'm worried if my
And I
road
haven't
might
seen
not
any
be there.
bad landslides yet, so, so far, so good. And it's supposed to be, what, 72 up there tomorrow, or
Yeah,
75 or
75.
something? Can we cancel all our meetings?
I should have asked if you were going up there so you could go check on my rug. I bought a really nice rug for my trailer. My trailer is at Canes now, and we set it up over the weekend, last weekend, and then the windstorm came and it's tacked down. But I thought, well, there's a really nice rug somewhere in the forest. It's probably mine.
It was interesting because I thought with all the stuff that happened at my place, I'd drive around the neighborhood and see, and it looks like it was like a tornado that touched down at my house, but missed a lot of other. There's a lot of stuff on the road, but I didn't see too much floating around. But where are you? Where's your trailer?
Same spot it was.
Oh, up by the
pre-fire.
tank?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't really want to say on the record.
Yeah. Well,
It's at Canes.
most people know where they can find us.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway,
All right.
well, it's exciting. Anything to add?
Oh, man.
Don't forget, it's Child Abuse Awareness Month. I wore my pretty
Mm-hmm.
blue earrings just to acknowledge, to support the organizations in our community that are supporting kids. With that, meeting adjourned.
All right.